Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well, guys, we have the eastern U.S. travel to be slammed by a storm with heavy rain, flooding, and gusty winds into Friday night. And so this storm's going to be packing mostly rain this time around. Temperatures are going to be, for the most part, too warm for snow. However, severe storms and some snow are going to hit travel hard at times when millions are beginning their Christmas journey to end this week. So the storm's going to gain strength as it travels northeastward from the upper Gulf Coast into eastern Quebec. And since the storm will take a path well inland, snow and ice with the storm will be limited to the northern tier of the northeast and onto the backside of the part of the Midwest. However, the combination of drenching rain, gusty winds, and poor visibility, fog, and low clouds is likely to cause substantial airline delays. So be aware of that if you guys are traveling, especially from Orlando, Florida, and Charlotte, North Carolina to Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York City, Boston, and Newark, New Jersey as well. And so obviously motorists are going to have some difficulties, slow travel, especially on highways. You can see the heaviest rainfall is going to basically be in basically the middle of Florida up into northern Florida, along coastal Georgia and coastal South Carolina into the Wilmington area and up around Florence and all. And so be aware of flash flooding, river flooding, coastal flooding, travel disruptions, but rain basically all throughout the area. And it's going to go on up into the northeast as well. So it could be some flooding issues as well. And again, this is a storm that's coming up from the south, so not too likely for much snow, except for, the extreme northern parts. You can see right here what we're looking at Thursday night. And so also throughout the Midwest, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan up into Toronto, New York State, all going to get rain, as well as northern New England as well. And then Friday, and you'll see a mix going through Indiana, and you'll get some snow up in Michigan. And also on the West Coast, we have powerful storms to hammer the U.S. West Coast and disrupt holiday travel as well. So expect more storms there. Again, heavy mountain snow, rough seas to lash the West Coast. My God, we saw some incredible waves. When they made that statement, I wouldn't be on the beach or face certain death. That's crazy. That's pretty intense. And you know what? I mean, I asked you guys straight out. I'm not a West Coast guy. I haven't ever seen this in the news before. Is this normal? And everybody was saying, hell no, it's not normal. This is not normal what we saw. 50-foot seas off the coast of Oregon and Northern California. And a lot of trees were downed as well. You can see the storm tracks right here. So be aware of that as some rain and snow heading in. Now, what we got going on in Indonesia, that's something else. So we have volcanic eruption triggering a series of quakes that cracked up and fissured the island of Ambon, Vanuatu. There's been a lot of activity on that island. There is a video for you guys to check out. Quakes range from 2.2 to 5.6 were shallow. Of course, shallow ones shake more on ground. And there's been a lot of cracks, some houses taken down, massive cracks, as you could see. Can you imagine just seeing the ground open like that in front of you? It takes a special person to live in this area. And of course, many of the people are pretty poor, and so perhaps it's not easy for them to shift to another area, to be expected. But I guess that you just kind of get used to these things in some ways. Tremendous damage, pretty scary situation, and we have a massive sinkhole among that destruction that we see. And this is again in Indonesia. Look at the size of this one. Huge, 30 meters wide, 15 meters deep. This is in East Java. Incredible sinkhole. And there's a video for you guys to check out on this one as well. Indonesia, is on the Ring of Fire, so it is an active area, but particularly hard hit. I can't think of another area in the world that was hit harder this past year, and this year was exceptional. And so basically you have a lot of volcanic unrest going on. You have 20 volcanoes across Indonesia currently showing above normal activity. And so one of them's on danger status, and that's Sinabung. 2 are on watch status, and then you have 17 that are on caution. And, again, there's a video for you guys to check out there. And so we have some extremely rare, very damaging tornado ripping through Port Orchard, Seattle, Washington. And for this time of year, kind of unusual. Extensive official damage survey will be conducted by the National Weather Service on Wednesday morning. Until then, the strength of a tornado cannot be determined. The state averages 2.5 tornadoes a year, but December tornadoes are even more rare, averaging less than 0.1 a year. So this one swept through a neighborhood near Port Orchard, Washington, causing considerable damage. Ripped roofs off of buildings, damaged at least 50 homes, downed trees, damaged numerous vehicles. Local media reported one of the homes had its roof completely destroyed. Additionally, 20 homes were evacuated after a possible gas leak. Thankfully, no injuries. And now just to check on how cold things are and what are we doing with the Arctic ice situation. Again, the black is the current year. As you see, we started in the middle, basically, of the range. So if you look at this gray line that runs here, that's the 2004-2013 average. And then each other line is a different year. So we basically went from being in the middle to around July. We had the highest amount of Arctic ice going back to 2004. And then when we got around towards October, going towards November, we had the lowest amount since 2004. And right now we're back in the middle again. So it looks like we're going to finish off the year pretty much where we started the year earlier, which is basically in the middle. And looking at the moon phase, because a lot of people have been saying, what's up with the moon? What is up with the moon? Because it seems so strange. Well, right now we're in a waxing gibbous phase. That's the phase that we're in right now. So it should look like that. And so, there's been so many people talking about the moon and how it's changing, how it's basically, sometimes it's, and I've seen it myself, and I swear, it looked like this part right here was up here. And this was going, it looked like it was shifted 90 degrees is what it looked like. And then the one time I was watching it with a friend, and I swear, and we weren't doing anything. We weren't smoking anything. I don't smoke any of that stuff. I don't do any drugs at all. And I won't even take aspirin or Advil unless I'm absolutely desperate, which is maybe once a year or twice a year. But anyway, I swear, it looked like the entire surface of the moon went from having the craters and everything to being totally blank. And we both looked at each other and said, "Did you see that?" And I don't know what that was. There wasn't clouds around it. But it was just strange. And so many people have been reporting about the strangeness of the moon. So I just wanted to give you guys the official. It is a waxing gibbous moon at this moment. Waxing gibbous. Should look something like that. And so why you should share your prepping and recruit others as well. Think about it. It only makes sense. We need to come together in this time. We really, really do. And I could say, for one, that we are, and we have been. And, we had lunch today with some of our best friends who basically are basically Evolutionary Energy Arts subscribers. And then once we got to this area, and we're scouting the area, they said, "Hey, stop in, and why don't you guys stay with us?" And so we did, and they've become really, really good friends. And last weekend we were visiting with others, and we're pulling together here and kind of bringing a community of like-minded people together, and that's part of the bigger plan. And that's what we need to do all over the country, all over the world, is we need to come together and share our different expertises. And maybe we don't have expertise in anything prepping wide, but maybe you're a good cook, or maybe you're good at sewing, or maybe you have a green thumb, whatever it is. In these type of situations, everybody can contribute. And so the more people that you could get to band together, work together, the better. The better the situation will be if something does happen. So, whether you don't have a generator, your neighbor does, well, then maybe you end up, shifting some of your food over to them to keep it, to keep it good when the power goes out. Just pull together and work together as a community. Find like-minded people as best you can. You would be surprised at how many people, are thinking like we do in this evolutionary energy arts family. So it's so important to come together and to basically, don't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm prepping. There's more of us now that, are wearing the tinfoil hats, quote unquote, and not afraid to come out and say, I wear a tinfoil hat. Look at Rex over at Leak Project. He's selling them. And, it's everything that we thought was crazy 10, 20 years ago is becoming more and more mainstream as we see these crazy changes go on, as we experience everything changing so rapidly in our world all around us. It's imperative that we get together and, lean on each other and learn from each other. So, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Reach out, share your prepping. As it says here, 3 reasons you directly benefit from having more people around you who are ready for a crisis. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. That's what I'm always saying. Please share the videos, wake people up. Building prepper communities makes everyone stronger and happier. It says you have more confidence and you got people you could lean on for sure. And there's much less stigma and more people are prepping. And it's totally different than 2008. And you know what? If you've watched my other videos, especially the one right before this, I think we're there. I think we're very close to there. I would say, by next year at this time, my guess is we'll be in the midst of a huge financial crisis. And perhaps we'll know that we're in something that's as bad or worse than 2008. But it's pretty much upon us right now. So we need to be aware of that. And we need to pull together and be ready for it. And it's imperative because that's not all we have to worry about. And let's not worry. Let's just get prepared and be ready for whatever comes. And whether it's earth changes, whether it's, unfortunately or hopefully not war, or whether it's, financial collapse, things like that, there's so much going on around us. And, now is the time to prep. And, some will say, well, I can't afford to do anything. Well, just look at where you're spending your money, analyze that, and just think about how you can make your dollars stretch more, perhaps by just changing choices. And, sometimes we don't even think about it. But, even if you're going out and you're just simply, getting something for lunch with a friend and you just spent $25, $25, that could buy you enough lentils, to last, a month. It all depends on how we utilize that. So every dollar counts. And, think about that. I'm going to be putting together a video tomorrow on just prepping and sharing with you guys some of the stuff that I have done here. And I'm still going at it. And, we're far from finished. You're never finished. You always realize, oh gosh, need this. Oh, need that. Oh, yeah, that would be great. There's always other things to address. And, in my situation here, renting, and I'm honestly in a piece of land that's not functional for really growing stuff much, so it's challenging. And so anything that's going to be grown, even though I'm in a woods, it's so heavily treed, and I can't go chopping down the landlord's trees. So, the growth is going to be, growing a garden is going to be something that's going to be done mostly container-wise. And, but it's no different if I was in a condo. It's just a matter of utilizing what you can do, what space. One of my good friends, Dave in the UK, he doesn't have a lot of room, but he's growing a good amount of little stuff there. And there's things that have a lot of nutrition that could be grown in a small amount of space. So again, it's just learning how to utilize things and make your dollars stretch. Even if you're on, a fixed income, as so many. I know people that are on extremely fixed incomes. and maybe making like disability $1,000 or less a month, and they could still prepare in small ways. And you could definitely prepare by reaching out and sharing whatever you're doing with others and making friendships and bonds and pulling together as a community. So my friends, as always, thumbs up to support the channel. Please do subscribe, join our family, click the bell, get all the notifications, and share with as many as people. Let's wake up people so they will not be panicking later. As always, my friends, God bless and namaste.